Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Today, I'll be making a case for marriage. The ties that bind. The ties that bind family together is marriage. The ties that bind community together is intact nuclear families. There's a plethora of data to back this up, but instead of rehashing stats, simply look at the dysfunction of the inner cities across the country. So I'm taking a look at my anecdotal look at my family as a case study. My grandparents were part of the greatest generation at the turn of 1900s. The children were part of the silent generation, and I'm a baby boomer. In those three generations, they produced 32 people, including my grandparents, 27 of whom were married. To this day, the familial bonds that were procreated remain the glue that binds our family together all across the globe. Uh, the first three generations are the safety net for the generations to follow. However, the strain on that safety net is increasing as marriages in our family have begun to decrease, and the older generation continues to be called home. Unfortunately, not enough family members are tuned into what's happening. And in fact, some of the family are, in outright denial of this situation. Anyway, my family is not immune to societal changes and different mores. Out of the 49 members of Generation X, only 10 are married, right? The majority of the children, of course, are born out of wedlock. To date, the family safety net continues to ensure that no kid goes homeless, hungry, unclothed, and uneducated. But as you can surmise, the family safety net will soon be stretched to its limits. However, without strengthening those marriage ties into the new generations, it will be inevitable that the net will eventually break. I mean, that's inevitable. So, a concerted effort by the family in promoting marriages again to the new generations will prevent this from happening. Okay, so here's what can happen. All right, I got a couple of things in my head. One, if we start promoting marriage, we could extend the safety net into the younger generations. I mean, that's obvious. The second one is the more intact families, the more equipped to take on stressful situations, such as an unwed pregnancy or unwed birth, right? Stable families will afford the unwed parent, male or female, the ability to complete their plans, even if somewhat delayed, right? More marriages will provide better role models for the younger generation, and and I say bring back the mantra, marry before you carry. Arguing against this is very disturbing to the future of the family, as we know. Okay, so there's some benefits to also being married, right? So, but by the way, I wrote a piece on this, like a one pager, describing what I just discussed. I'm gonna put it in the chat, and we'll also put some of the links to the benefits in the chat as well. It's, maybe the first two comments you'll see it. Anyway, so what are the benefits to marriage? Of course, improve finances. You're pooling money together. You're saving money. You have one household instead of two. So your finances will improve. I guess you got combined income. Married couples get tax benefits, that unmarried couples don't receive. So there's 13 legal benefits of marriage, taxes, insurance, and more. And so I'm gonna put a link to that in the chat. Of course, marriage promotes emotional stability. of course, you have some emotional stability. You'll be able to lean on somebody in marriage, right? So these are the kind of things that couples can talk things out. Couple can lean on each other. Men could give order to a woman's chaos. We could put our burdens, down, lay them down, and move through the tides of life together, right? So that's emotional stability. Of course, there's physical health benefits. Like you say, married couples live longer. They stay healthier. They have things to live for. So that's another thing that marriage benefits as opposed to shuffling kids from house to house, worrying about if your girlfriend's cheating, worrying about if you get another baby mama pregnant, or all kinds of silly stuff by just not dedicating yourself to the person you gave a baby to, right? So I'm assuming so because there's some folks in my family who are living together with their baby mamas. So I say, listen, you might as well go all the way because there's nothing out there but trouble. Go ahead and make that You're already dedicated for at least 21 years. So you might as well go ahead and see if you can make something work and grow together. Okay, so some other benefits, of course, include stabilized child development and discipline, shared responsibilities, improved communication, faithfulness, and exclusivity, companionship, protection, fun, and of course, enduring love. All right. So I'm not going to stay long with this. I just wanted to throw that out there and talk to you about what's going on. And listen, I'm going to leave you with something, and some of you might get triggered by this. And let me just preface this by um, uh, I don't agree that Andrew Tate should have ever been involved in the sex business. I don't care if it's legal or not. For what his word is, his message is to young men, he doesn't need to be tainted by, anything like the sex business. So if he once he comes out of jail, I think he's going to get exonerated, but he needs to leave all of that behind and just put his message out there the way he should. Now, it may not end up that way, but I'm thinking it would. So I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna put up what he talks about his grandmother and what it was for her later on in life. And it's a message that I think people should hear. So I'm gonna stop sharing here and I'm gonna share what he was talking about. And we'll just take it home from there. Okay, bear with me for a second. And let me do this. Let me bring that up. And so you guys can see. All right. All right. Stay tuned. Let me share this. Took a little longer than I expected, but we're going to share. So this should be sharing right now.
Kids.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
no?
yeah.
Oh, you do?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
A life without children is vapious and it's inane and it's pointless. And you may sit here and think that your career matters, but the truth is that your job will fire you out of whim and don't give a second.
right.
Don't give a solitary shit.
So true.
And when you're 52 and you're past it with no grandchildren in a house by yourself, and all your friends have grandchildren in this beautiful life, and you're sitting there by yourself, do you think the fact that you can afford a few extra Gucci bags is going to genuinely make you feel happy? I was at my grandmother's 93rd birthday. I looked there. My grandmother had 9 children because there was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman. Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah.
That nobody cared about her career. Nobody asked what job she did. Nobody asked how many times she went to the club. Nobody asked if she had time to go to festivals. No, you had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful. And if you sit here and genuinely think that you're going to work your ass off through your fertile years, and by the age of 54, you're not going to be suicidal alone with a cat, then you're dumb. You are
Me right
dumb.
now.
I'm not
You
saying
are
I just
dumb.
want to
Perfect
comment.
plug here.
That's me right now.
So let me stop it right there. So those are poignant words. Now he didn't say his grandmother was married, but we can surmise that she was, just like most of the women in that day. So I would submit to you that it's a good, marriage is beneficial to communities, is beneficial to us all. And, civilizations were built on, intact couples. This is not to pass any, disparity on children who are born out of wedlock because it's going to happen. But it's up to the parents to rededicate themselves to, if you're going to have kids, you got to give them the best chance to succeed. And the best chance for them to succeed is undoubtedly with a man and a woman in a household, not shuffling them back and forth in a household. But what's done is done for some of you. But you can be promoters of marriage for the future, all right? Because that takes the burden off of everybody and it strengthens the net for further generations to come. So, this is my little short. Please like, share, subscribe. And if you have comments, put the comments in there and let's just talk about them, because I think that, let me stop sharing this. Um, I just think that we need to kind of reassess where we're at these days with the families and, and do what's right. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, take it easy.